You are live on PM Express here on the JoyNews channel. Tonight, Ghana's most wanted. Very apt description for the man who is being chased across the globe tonight. Court warrant for arrest of MENZGOLD owner. That's what we're going to be delving into today. It's a breaking news story that's taking the airwaves by storm. This is the inside story. This is where you need to be to get an inside story. In the last few hours, of course, we know that a warrant for the arrest of Appiah Mensah has been issued, and this is going across 194 countries. We'll delve into that shortly. Why is he wanted? He's wanted for defrauding by false pretense after months of failure to pay investors. Millions of dollars, we understand, locked up in MENZGOLD. We'll be exploring that tonight. Pardon me. Now, also wanted, and this is some latest information we are getting tonight from the CID, because we got confirmation from the boss of the CID tonight, not only defrauding by false pretense, but money laundering. That is a serious offense if this is proving against him. And in fact, we hear from the CID that this really is what triggered this international manhunt for the man, Appiah Mensah. The warrant is also for the arrest of his wife, Rose Tete, and his sister, Benedict Appiah. And tonight, JoyNews has been looking into some of his assets as well, and the assets related to the wife in particular in East Legon. That business is operating as normal. The workers there say the wife hasn't been to work for almost 2 months, but they've been receiving their salaries. This is going to be interesting for the agencies that are looking to, one, freeze his assets, but also halt his bank accounts. And we know that it's already underway. And this comes after another demonstration. This is really what triggered this latest action. Another demonstration by frustrated clients of the troubled MENZGOLD. Some of them are on the show tonight, and they were demonstrating yesterday, breaking the Public Order Act, just to make a point. The Financial Intelligence Center has, we understand, frozen his bank account. Will that be enough, though, to help the customers who are crying for their monies to be paid? There is an Interpol arrest warrant tonight for him to be arrested in 194 countries. We've been checking the Interpol database tonight, and Interpol is a very transparent organization. Online, they post for you all the individuals wanted. NAM1 is not part of it, maybe just not yet. We'll wait 24 hours because this was triggered today, 9th of January. We'll check again today with our Interpol sources to see whether he pops up. Because we understand in the Interpol database, this is red alert. In other words, amongst all the things Interpol is doing tonight across the globe, 194 countries, searching for NAM1 is top priority. And that is why it's been categorized as red alert tonight. There is a special interest in Nigeria and South Africa, because the suspicion is he flew in his private jet first to South Africa, as our sources tell us, and may have ended up in Nigeria over the Christmas New Year period to have fun. And so our sources in national intelligence and in securities tell us there are, yes, 194 countries across the country has been activated. Every police officer in Interpol is looking for NAM1, but there's a special attention on these two countries because there's a suspicion that he may be hiding in any of these two countries. And it follows a note on Facebook by a very famous individual and very linked network in the government, who made a post that apparently the man has been arrested before and had Jan bail and may have just fled the country. We got confirmation today. CID says we did not arrest him. Our checks confirmed to us that BNI did arrest him. And they've been investigating this for a while. Apparently, the man jumped bail and fled the country. The Bank of Ghana says it does not have the power to intervene. In fact, just yesterday, the Bank of Ghana was telling us on JoyNews that they cannot do anything about this, that the customers who've lost money, well, they're on their own. They did this at their own risk because they were warned. The sequence of events, fascinating sequence of events, where I'm sure you recall, the BOG SEC issued a notice, August, cautioning the public, don't deal with MENZGOLD. The customers ignored that. We know that. Indicated that they were working with other agencies to try and find out what exactly was happening at MENZGOLD. But they warned the customers. The move angered MENZGOLD and described the action by the central bank as unfair. In fact, they are in court challenging the decision that was taken. And we saw this tweet from Appiah Mensah, who tonight is on the run because CID describes him as a fugitive. A fugitive is somebody on the run, running away from the law, from justice. He posted on Twitter, today's joke, BOG. So you do propaganda. I beg, tell Ghanaians exactly what happened with the 5 or so collapsed banks you duly licensed and supervised for years. Please, don't attempt to use our dear MENZGOLD to cover up. That is number one, responding to the Bank of Ghana. Well, who's laughing now tonight? 194 countries, Interpol, red alert on him. What's next after the arrest warrant? Will he be picked up? Well, I tell you what, CID says they are 100% confident he'll be arrested. They say he can run, he can't hide. But big questions tonight. Assuming he's arrested, are we going to get anything in his accounts to defray the cost of these customers who are crying? If you freeze his assets, are these assets in his name? And I guess the bigger question tonight, is this too little, too late? Join us on PM Express tonight. We'll be getting to the details after the break. This is our special PM Express program on a night when across the world, 194 countries, there is a manhunt for one man, Ghana's most wanted, Appiah Mensah. There's a red alert, and we've heard explanations today what red alert means. Red alert means is a topmost priority for Interpol anywhere in the world, in 194 countries. I've told you already that the focus is on Nigeria and South Africa tonight, and they're looking for him. But they're not only looking for him, they're looking for his wife and his sister. And we know they have businesses running currently tonight, and the workers have spoken to us tonight telling us that, listen, the business has been going on as normal. There's one particular one belonging to the wife, Rose Tete, who tonight is part of the list of individuals being sought after tonight. Nobody knows where they are exactly. And we'll be delving into some of the questions that have come up tonight, fundamentally, and that's where we'll start. And I have in the studio with me to look at this, Amanda Clinton is a lawyer for MENZGOLD customer, right? This is the customers, because we've been pitched as a lawyer for MENZGOLD customers.
Quite a few MENZGOLD customers.
Quite a few, okay.
International so and locally.
Great, so that's accurate. Thank you, Amanda, for joining us.
Thanks,
also in the studio with us tonight is Isaac Nyako, who is a MENZGOLD customer. Isaac, thank you for joining us tonight. And Dr. Lord Mensah is a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. Hello, Lord Mensah. Thank you very much, Doc, for joining us also on this all-important matter. We are not going to pull punches on this because the Amanda Clinton and the customers themselves are coming for some strong criticism. Why should the state expend all these resources looking for a man who they were defending just a short few months ago? Why is a question that has been asked. But let's start from the top, because this is a very busy day today on this particular side. And my question really is, and Amanda, I'm looking at a petition you sent, copied to a few people, and in fact it includes the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, and we know that it's a SEC decision to step in that triggered this last, I guess, ripple of events that has led to this. And they wrote to you, and this is 24th December 2018, and among that, give me a copy of this, which is signed by Reverend Daniel Ogbami Tete, Director General of the Security and Exchange Commission. I want to read parts of this. It's important, it says, to know the following. Now, MENZGOLD Ghana Limited is not a licensee of the Security and Exchange Commission. The Commission issued its directive to the above-mentioned company on the 7th September 2018. The company, through its lawyers, responded on the 12th September 2018, especially disagreed with our jurisdiction over the company's activities. We have since the 2nd day of October 2018, being in the Commercial Court Accra, and they mentioned the suit number for a determination on our jurisdiction and consequently our directive. So this has been fought. Prior to that, the Commission had held meetings with the Economic and Organized Crimes Office on potential criminal aspects of this matter, and as through its head audit and investigations filed a formal criminal complaint together with relevant documents and attachments with the said office on the 14th August 2018. So this is interesting. This is the Securities and Exchange Commission telling you that they on that prior to that the Commission had held meetings with IOCO on potential criminal aspects of this matter, and has through its head audit and investigations filed a formal criminal complaint. The SEC has filed a formal.
I think they also said that it was actually EOCO following the meetings.
Yeah, I mean, I need to get to the end of this. Criminal complaint together with relevant documents and attachments with the said office on the 14th August 2018, pursuant to Article 2071 of the Securities Industry Act. For the avoidance of doubt, it states as follows. The prosecution of an offense against the provisions of this act shall be by Attorney General. Once again, the SEC wishes to thank you for the information contained, etc., blah, blah, blah. My question, and this is fascinating, that even the SEC had done some work and had documents and has filed a complaint for criminal proceedings brought against Nana Appiah Mensah and MENZGOLD. So the question, we are here tonight, knowing all this, is this too late or too late? Because this is August, right? This is August. August, September, October, November, December, January. Talking about almost 5 months. And SEC had written with evidence to IOCO that there's some criminal issues happening there. What's your reaction to my question, knowing what you know?
Is it a little too late? I mean, technically, yes, only because even though, you know, departments do need time in order to build the case and to really analyze the makeup of the company and what's going on, standard procedure is, well, once there is a suggestion of financial misappropriation, etc., and then it becomes more than a suggestion, you freeze all assets, you earmark buildings, you prevent people from traveling, and you call them in from questioning just to have a better idea of what was going on with the company. And we know...
You're not assuming you're culpable. You're saying, listen,
we just want to know what's going on.
Everything, let me look at it. If you're okay, we'll let you go.
Yes, and and this is not just speaking in a vacuum, because as of June 2018, we saw the government do quite an aggressive effort in terms of the Ghana Football Association, where you know, they said, well, if we saw a video, just a video of someone taking cash, this raises enough suspicion because this is public interest, and we therefore are freezing all accounts, we're earmarking buildings, putting police officers outside, we're preventing travel, and we are going into the bank accounts of individuals within that organization, and this is before the CID file was open in order to investigate. So I only cite the Ghana Football Association case because similarly, this is what happened in terms of you've got a large amount of money, far many more people involved, the suspicion of financial misappropriation, and yet all these triggers didn't allow the freezing of the entire operation until all parties got a better idea in order to make a final determination.
I see. Let me come to you. You are the customer on this, and Amanda just represents some of you. But when I was reading this, the SEC response on Amanda's petition, you sounded surprised.
Yeah.
Why?
Because for CID office to have received such...
This is the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Yeah, to IOCO. For them to have had such an information and all this while, from August till now, and they've not acted, it comes as a surprise to me when people were then still investing into the company during those days, from August to September.
When did you join MENZGOLD?
I joined in June.
Of last year?
This year.
Of last year?
2018, sorry.
Of last year. So June, July, August.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so 2 months before the SEC says, well, we've done criminal backgrounds, we found evidence, and so you were involved.
I was involved.
With MENZGOLD. I'll come to your own responsibilities very shortly, and then the reaction to what has happened tonight. We'll come to we'll stay with that for a while. But Doc, I read the Securities and Exchange Commission's response, and your reaction is what?
Well, to me, I think the law takes time to bite.
Okay.
It's not something straightforward. And I understand very well that finance and law goes together, because the law gives confidence to depositors that, after all, at the end of the day, if we lose our money, we have the law court to support us in terms of retrieving the money and all those. Now, this is the case where we have a country, we have all the institutions. SEC has identified, kind of criminal connotation to the business that MENZGOLD is doing. But then in the end, SEC itself cannot persecute MENZGOLD. So it needs to refer to YOCO. Now the time lapse between that referral is what we need to work on as a country. Now it's something that I always talk about the integration of our institutions and how information flows, the speed at which we can get information to get to the various destinations as far as implications are concerned. Now I could see clearly that this information tells you that our institutions are not well integrated, and that we should work on that as a country.
I beg to differ, because Ghana Football Association is a perfect example of how quickly the government responded, because even though departments need time in order to assess a matter, standard protocol is to freeze everything so assets are not dissipated and people don't leave the country. GFA, what happened with GFA then if people are so slow?
Let me land here, please. Yeah. What you're talking about, GFA's case is targeted, for which you're looking at a person involved. Do you get it? Now, this is a whole institution. And look at the coverage of MENZGOLD. Look at the customers involved. It's not just overnight to get up and say, MENZGOLD should stop operating. And of course, you should understand very well that, just halting a financial institution overnight, it has its own repercussions.
But that's what SEC did in a sense. They actually asked them to stop suspend depositing.
Right, but you should understand that MENZGOLD was operating with a disguised form, which is taking, deposit, but then in the end registered as, minerals buying company.
Yeah.
Now, for them to stop the entire operations tells me that the only line of operation was just the deposit taking. Because if you go to their website, the indications are clear that deposit taking is just one line of their business. So the other part of the business, why is it not functioning? That's a question I ask myself. So it's not a straightforward thing for YOCO to go in and say, I'm going to freeze MENZGOLD asset, just, stop. At the end of the day, looking at Ghana football compared to financial institutions are completely different.
Yes,
you
but
can't relate them.
The point is, the average man on the street cannot open up deposit taking. That is automatically illegal for a non-financial institution.
Now you are looking at with the law eyes.
Okay,
but
this
then
gentleman,
we also have to look at it from the economic aspect.
Okay, the reality. Let's look at this. Is not academic. Let's look at the reality of the situation. This gentleman, upwards of $400,000 CDs.
Is that how much he invested?
That's how much he invested. He takes that money there to an unlicensed organization who overnight has said, well, because we can't take in new deposits, therefore we can't give out what we promised in the agreement. That's just what. That is not academic.
Can I come in here?
Let me hear his view. Yes.
You see, the money the gentleman gave to MENZGOLD, it's not money to be kept in a box at where the MENZGOLD structure is. That money is going into an investment. He gave the money to MENZGOLD with an expectation. Hold on, please. with an expectation.
Have you read the agreement?
The expectation was to buy gold and trade.
Yes. I'll come to that.
Which you are expecting your interest.
I have significant questions on that, but let me make his point on this.
For which you gave the money, you are expecting a certain interest, right?
Yeah.
Now, with this interest, MENZGOLD cannot keep the money in a box and then pay you the interest.
MENZGOLD will work with the money and get returns. So
exactly.
That is the expectation.
So for you to come in and just hoard the business, let me come in, please. For you to come in and say you're coming to hoard the business, where will MENZGOLD get the money? Now, you gave the money to MENZGOLD, maybe for a year. Hold on, please. For a year.
Gold business is a ready market out there.
I get it. Let him land because I need to move to other substantive matters.
It is a ready market out there, but it is still an investment.
Yeah.
You had an agreement which says that within 6 months, pay me this interest.
So, Doc, your fundamental point is, because of the way the financial sector works,
you can't just jump in and say stop operations.
No, but
Bank of
point.
Bank of Ghana says very specifically about deposit taking in the Deposit Taking Institutions Act that engaging in illegal deposit taking contrary to Section 6(1) of the banks. Secondly, Registrar General's Department says a private company inviting the public to deposit money or investing in its business is in breach of Section 265 of the Companies Act. And thirdly, if you spend time, I mean, I've just spent a lot of time reading
initiate the processes of
but the thing is,
the institution.
The point is, you stop immediately because the longer you keep going, is the more people deposit. That's why in the 5th year of operation, people were depositing 1 million.
I'm going to give you a second on this. A question on this. The point that Amanda has made is that the minute SEC says that we found potential criminal activity,
it means they should stop operation
and wrote to IOCO.
Right.
And that's why we interdict people, right?
Sure.
So you say, okay, if SEC has found potential, what is the long-term harm if we do not do anything now and wait till we find out 6 months later when people's monies are involved? So, i.e., can you say, stop, let's look into this matter? If you're cleared, you continue. It's not a fair...
That is what exactly SEC, that's what SEC did.
5 years later.
Stop taking deposits.
I get, okay, so
5 years later.
Let's move on from this. Let's move on from this.
Because from first year when SEC, BOG recognized that this guy was doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
Second year, was he not monitoring the guy's activity when he was changing his names to the from C to K to MENZGOLD? Was he monitoring?
No.
I get your point.
But you saw these things.
And why couldn't he move in?
Which in itself explains the risk.
No.
And you ended up investing somewhere in June.
No.
Isaac, just a second. I'll come back to that because the fundamental point I'll press on this is...
In the case of...
I get the point, Amanda, I'll get your point.
In the case of God...
Isaac, just a second. I get your point about the time. I think fundamentally you agree, both of you agree, that the state institutions waited too late to act and they have regularized the act. You think it's not that simple.
Okay.
I get it. I'll come to you.
You know, if I make the most perfect point, in the first week of MENZGOLD operating, even a multi-millionaire would not have deposited 200 CDs to MENZGOLD because they didn't know they had no reference. In the 5th year, they were depositing $6 million US dollars per
They just built up time with trust.
Just a second.
So they should have stopped at the beginning.
I get it. Isaac. So you say, yes, the state agencies should have stepped in and stopped him and dealt with it. So the state agency didn't do it. Yeah. You as a responsible individual. Investor with $400,000 dollars or CDs.
No,
$450,000 Ghana cedis.
What, and we shouldn't discount the fact that these agencies were in the press warning the likes of you that there's danger ahead. My question to you is, so they fail, so the agencies fail. What about you, your own responsibility? Because fundamentally, it's not their money. The SEC guy, who said, it's your money. What did you do
before
when they warned you 2 years a year ago?
Before 2017, the warning came out.
Yes.
I investigated. I investigated, went to, before I decided to invest in it. Somewhere April, I went to Minerals Commission to check. They asked me to write a letter, and then later I think I checked with one of the ladies at the front desk about the performance about Men's Gold, and it came out that they are doing very well with Minerals Commission. Their record shows that they are doing very well. And then further, not too long.
Very well in terms of...
Yes, explain that.
They are exports. They are exports.
You're exporting
gold.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I did my own due diligence with my friends in some banks that the Men's Gold keeps their money. And I'm told that the funds that comes in as transfers from outside shows that the guy is doing well, good business. So I did that investigation as well. That means the guy is trading really in gold, and that means he's doing good with transfers.
Were you monitoring gold price on the market?
Hold it. And then, not too long, after the warning, he was out there sponsoring the Premier League.
Premier League, yeah.
Nyantechi was there with him. Not too long, I mean, he was walking through the corridors of the presidency. Before you walk through that corridors, you need an invitation. And for a protocol.
Not necessarily.
No. But for protocol, before somebody goes on presidential visits, he should be, president needs to have been briefed on the guy's performance.
Yeah, I mean,
what he's doing.
I don't know why you guys cite that. So,
you know,
so somebody has a picture with the president, so what?
Not just the picture.
I get it, I get your point.
The
so
comment,
you say that
exactly.
he legitimized him
as
an independent
exactly.
Okay.
And the guy goes on to have a royal visit to Otumfuo. And there, Fred Owari, who owns himself as the chairman of the company, talks good about the guy and then endorses the guy over there and says for the good advice of Otumfuo, they are doing well as Men's Gold. The video is there as evidence. And if you are there and all these warnings have been there, and the guy, this thing is still happening, it's like, so Men's BOG, does it mean, I mean, the guy is not really doing a wrong thing and you are just giving warnings. And these guys are all endorsing him. I mean, ordinary person like me.
I get you. You cited all the things you.
I did
all
the
positives.
All the positives. The guy might be doing something
no
right.
Problem.
But
all the positives. Did you see the BOG adverts in the press warning you?
I saw it 2017.
Yes. So you saw it together with everything else.
I saw the advert.
And when you did that, when you saw it, you still kept your monies there.
No. As at the time, the second one. No. As at the time, the second one came in 2018.
You said you saw it in 2017. And what did you do?
And then that was when I went to do my investigation.
And then you checked. So for you,
and then continuously, the endorsement started coming.
So for you,
the endorsement came in 2018.
So for you, the picture with the president, the visit to Asante Hene, the financing of the league was all more important than the Bank of Ghana buying a page ad in the graphic and telling you, don't keep your money there, you're on warning, you're on your own if something happens. Pictures, visits, sponsorships were more important than the Bank of Ghana's warning to you. That's what you're telling me.
And the license the guy was operating with Minerals Commission.
Yes, the expert was responsible.
No. Yes, and so the evidence of Minerals Commission.
So that was more important to you.
No, the Minerals Commission's own was number one as well.
Okay, so
but the guy was doing a legitimate business.
I'm saying to you that that was more important to you than the Bank of Ghana's warning.
Yes, Bank of Ghana's warning was specifically deposit taken.
I get your point. So fast forward to 2018, when before August, all the controversy really got heated up. And then SEC got in and said, you can't do this, suspend. What did you do in June and July of last year, 2018, when SEC stepped in? Did you?
No, SEC stepped in somewhere in August.
Okay, August. What did you do?
I was in already.
What did you do in August when SEC
I went into disinvest.
And what happened?
And they said we should come again.
Too late.
Not really too late. They gave us time.
By that time, they
gave us time, and you go
by
and
that
keep
time you've invested
time.
for how many months?
Like 2 months.
So you've made 40,000, 80,000 CDs.
No, I mean,
roughly, you made 80,000.
You're talking about.
But did you reinvest? Because most people reinvested the money. Did you reinvest?
No, I
didn't reinvest. Okay. So every month you're making 40,000 CDs. Correct? Yeah. So you make 2 months, 80,000 CDs. 400,000 investment. Why should we have sympathy for you? Why on earth should me sitting in the studio
and have
care about?
I didn't ask for sympathy.
What you
Not
asked
at all.
What you want?
I asked government, right? As a citizen, I asked government to call this guy. This guy claims he has money in his accounts, right? He has money. He's giving us schedules and promises to pay us. I mean, severally he's come out with schedules and he's not been able to make payments.
Yeah. It won't happen.
But he claims he's got money in that account.
Okay.
So look, let's call this guy. Let's sit down with him. Government to compel him. Wherever you claim you have the money, bring it up. Let's have the schedule. Let's pay the people.
Quick question then. On the back of, give me your reaction to what has happened tonight.
Right?
Because
I didn't ask. And then if it takes that the guy doesn't really have money and claims he has money, then that's a false pretense. And what action has taken place now should have happened before.
Your reaction to that.
Definitely.
It's happened tonight. Too little, too late, or is good enough for you?
It's good enough for me.
Good enough,
right?
okay.
Good enough for me.
What is
I
your
mean, I want
confidence
justice.
level?
For me, I
what
want
is your
justice.
confidence level that he's going to be at? We don't know where he is tonight.
Yeah.
I said maybe he might be in Nigeria or South Africa. What is your confidence tonight that he's going to be arrested and your money retrieved?
Well, the government has given us assurance that
CID said they're
they're
100%
going to
sure
ensure that
he'll
they'll
be
get arrested.
Arresting him is one thing.
Yeah.
Getting your money for is a whole different ballgame. The second bit.
Yeah,
That you get your money.
getting the money, I mean, from what they tell us, that investigations have been going on. We expect that by now they've made contacts to various assets.
They are freezing his
mean-
assets. I've said it when I introduced it.
Yeah.
Financial Intelligence Center are freezing his assets. Amanda will tell you when I come to her shortly that she's been doing a lot of work. The accounts are virtually empty. In Kumasi, a court made an order. Go sell his asset, pay off people. They go to execute it. The property is not his name.
I think that there can be traces too. I mean,
They are tracing it. They are tracing
tracing
some.
it. Yes, let's hope for the
You're
best.
hopeful.
If it doesn't happen that again, it will find justice. It should be jailed.
Good. Amanda, I'll come to you. Doc,
should
I'll
be
come to you.
jailed.
Amanda, when I come to you, when we take a short break, when we return,
We need
to
justice.
we need to be analyzing
I didn't ask for
quickly.
pity anyway.
Wherever he is, we need to understand, do they have an extradition treaty with Ghana? Because those are important details that we need to explore. They say your customers are greedy. You need to respond to that for me. The customers you're representing. Doc, I need to respond.
Those are her clients.
The
Yeah,
one who is
clients,
not greedy in Ghana is the one who will be giving government appointment and knows within himself that.
Doc,
look,
when I come
look,
to you, I need to get.
look,
I'll come to you. We need to take
I have a
we take a
company
short
that
break.
can
When
pay
we
my
return, we'll
salary,
interrogate
and
the
I
other
wouldn't take.
issues. Stay with us.
I wouldn't take salary.
Yes.
I would deny my salary. That's what we're talking about.
I wish you could have been following the conversations whilst we were on break, but it's pretty heated. But you can understand why it's going to be heated, because monies are involved. Amanda has said that there are, what, 1.8 million people invested there, a total of $200 million, she said.
Yes, in 5 years.
Well, that's her claim. We're going to be establishing this as this investigation gathers pace. But Amanda, a lot of has happened tonight. We are looking at a scenario where we wake up tomorrow morning and we'll get an announcement that Nam1 is bundled into a plane and heading back to Ghana. But it may not be that simple, because it depends on where he's found. If he's found in a country with no extradition treaty to Ghana, there's going to be a terrible fight. And knowing what he's done, assuming he's guilty, he's not going to sit in DAX in Nigeria where they can simply fly him in, right?
Yes.
And he has means to move around. Isn't that a concern for you and your clients?
It is, but I mean, you know, it's also like a game in terms of whoever is willing to forcefully put their own position forward. So if, for instance, you know, MENZGOLD customers will not sleep until justice is served, and they are willing to, like, you know, hire lawyers like myself, who went to Interpol director, CID director, deputy attorney general, etc., to kind of push this a lot and make sure that every day he's alive, that, you know, if he thinks he's got away for a certain amount of time, it might come later on. And, you know, I just also really want to touch on this issue about public interest, overriding public interest. It's like someone buying a bottle of water from an unregulated company, and some people say the water is so good it can make you look 10 years younger. Like, a lot of people say that, and then some people in the market say that some people said that their family member died from this water. So if you've got a group of people saying, well, I look 10 years younger with this water, so don't take it off the market, don't take it off the market. The government has this overriding public interest to analyze the water, take it off the market, and assess what is in the water, you know, just like what is in the investment. And if Bank of Ghana has, as Ace from Bentiancho Law Firm said on one of the shows on your weekend, they had like lever arch full of evidence. They had sent people there to buy gold and test the system.
They've done mystery shopping.
Mystery shopping. And we have a company that has changed strategies in terms of they take in deposits and then within their subsidiary, you can go and buy gold there and then walk down the road to see them. You know, this is called sham. It's like classic sham operations. It's not rocket science. It is not beyond the Ghanaian government to understand this level of operation.
You are a lawyer, so you've heard this phrase, buyer beware.
Yes.
So the state agencies failed. What did your clients do?
That's right.
My clients are the public, and so it's like having these poisonous little sweets that were investments.
I get the point.
And the clients liked it.
I get the point you're
but
making.
you have a overriding duty as the custodian of the people to protect them.
Assuming we concede.
Yeah.
Without admitting, because I can't speak for any of the state agencies, that they failed.
I'm not saying they failed. I'm so grateful.
I'm just asking the question based on an assumption.
I'm so grateful that they're reacting now.
An assumption without admitting that they did.
Yeah.
That they failed.
Yeah.
What did your clients do?
My clients really should have got onto Google and, you know...
They didn't need to go on Google because it was all over the airwaves that there's something wrong with MENZGOLD.
Yes, but do you know how you know something is wrong? For instance, the Security and Exchange Commission's Act of literally saying no new deposit taking is how strong you will have to be from an unwilling public to an unregulated company. So if they did this 5 years later, you could say today, well, you waited 5 years, so you could have just waited 5 years longer.
Yeah, but
do you see what I mean? So if you did it in the first week,
in 2017,
millions of Ghana cedis and dollars wouldn't have been pumped
what was
in.
Minerals Commission
I wanted to answer that question for me, if you may. I don't know if you've asked your clients that question. That
Yes,
in 2017, when the warnings came from the Bank of Ghana, etc., what did they do?
Yes, what did they do?
He's told us that he went to investigate.
They should have been more active, but we also have laws
So you
in
admit
place.
that they have responsibilities.
I admit that.
And
but,
they failed
but
to
the
execute. But they are fundamentally, it's their money.
But their responsibilities weren't illegal. The responsibility that was illegal was illegal deposit taking.
I'll bring it in.
Right.
The responsibility that was illegal deposit taking. The responsibility that was illegal was a private company inviting the public to deposit money or invest in its business. So if if you don't mind me saying, but if an unintelligent investor does this, and there are laws preventing deposit taking
There's
because
nothing like unintelligent investor.
well, look, the law says engaging
and
bank of okay. Do you understand this provision?
All investors are assumed to rational.
Exactly.
Okay, do you understand this provision?
Make sure
This
that
provision,
you understand the product.
Before
If
you
you
put
don't
your mind
understand the product, don't take the risk upon yourself by investing directly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go and hire an expert. That is why we have found brokers and all those around. So
Okay.
for me,
Okay, so
I don't think where you're coming from.
Okay, look, this is a law. Engaging in illegal deposit taking is contrary.
We can't have three people talking at the same time. Let's get Amanda read it.
Engaging Bank of Ghana, this is Bank of Ghana regulations. This is the authority on this. Engaging in illegal deposit taking contrary to Section 6(1) of the Banks and Specialist Deposit Taking Institution Act 2016. His act wasn't illegal. That company's act was illegal. So guess which one you shut down?
Amanda,
okay.
Have you
Your
thought
reaction to
of
this?
the number of clients that MENZGOLD had coming from different areas of the country? Can Bank of Ghana go out there? They can put it in the media. And remember, the kind of clients that MENZGOLD was reaching out to are not the former clients who are always listening to our news. Most of them are informal. You should understand that they don't really understand the financial dynamics. So therefore, next time if they want to invest, they should understand that as an investor, the responsibility should be that protect your interests first. At the end of the day, the authorities are there to protect you. Now, I would say that fine. After all, MENZGOLD was paying taxes. He was paying all taxes.
Assuming he was.
So the state was, he was. So the state was benefiting from MENZGOLD. So of course it is. Please hold on. So of course it's a business entity which the state, needs to protect it and to ensure that we all benefit from MENZGOLD in the form of taxes, and then also investors who wants to invest get their returns as it's supposed to be. But when you are going to invest, you see, there's a statement that I'm coming from the financial lens, right?
Not the legal lens.
No, not the legal lens. No. It tells you that the investment world is not for the novice. You can say you don't understand the product and that you are going to invest in. That is why you need minimum level of education. So if you don't understand the product, please go and hire an expertise. In fact, if you look at it,
could you answer the question? What about Ponzi schemes? How have Ponzi schemes been dealt with? Why are people in jails in the US over Ponzi schemes?
That is where I would say.
Why are people treated as victims?
That is where I would say the state has failed on that side, because we need financial education.
Yeah.
We need to ensure that we educate the people to a level where they will appreciate differences in interest rate.
This is a white-collar crime.
So
let me land. You all have your time to respond.
Yes, at the end of the day, right, if you are going to invest, make sure you know the product. Now, the state has failed in a sense that we all dream of getting people financially included. Whatever investment they are trying to do, we want to get them to make sure that they invest. Do you get it? Now, what are we doing to ensure that the people will understand the investment they are going to do? Now, there are so many ways of getting education to those people down there. And I can tell you about 70% of Men's Gold clients are the informal sector. Yeah. Most of them don't really understand anything. So at the end of the day,
all the new ones, I was getting
something is giving me 10%. Meanwhile, if you relate it to the economy in general, the average rate you can get was about 33% by that time.
Per annum.
And let me tell you that, per annum. What finance works here? On the average is about 10%, right? At the end of the day, if someone is being conservative and the person not taking on risk, the person is getting 33%. Now you are getting, on the average, let's say 3%, you are getting 7% per month extra. And that 7% is your insurance.
Yeah.
Let me tell you the secret. Now, the finance is in such a way that 7% you are taking, you could have invested 5% somewhere to secure yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So at the end of the day, now that you are in trouble, you go for the 5%.
Yeah. This is a Ponzi scheme.
Because you knew, because you're taking higher risk here.
Exactly.
And once that higher risk,
that goes with your returns.
When higher risk goes bad,
so there's no need to call in the government or call in whoever is supposed to.
So my question to you before I come to Isaac, let's return to where we started tonight, and I get your reaction. The state is expending a lot of resources now.
Yeah, sure.
To track down, number one, the wife and the sister.
Because a crime has been committed.
Oh, I haven't asked
that is from your legal perspective.
Is this, Doc, is this a justifiable expense of state resources?
Of course, I mean, we have a constitution which says that if you take somebody's money on false pretense, you should be hunted. But then looking at my investment perspective, I tell you that they bite the risk, and that risk was going with their returns. What about those who invested for 3 years? They've covered their capital and more than
let me simplify what you're saying and tell me if you agree or disagree. In other words, they got what they deserved.
Of course. Simple.
Isaac.
We got what we deserved, right?
Don't have a fight here, please.
But let me tell you, at the time BOG was closing down DKM, God is Love, which wasn't even within their mandate. It was a fan club, but they walked in to close it down. At that time, Men's Gold was operating. What stops them from including Men's Gold?
Remember, Men's Gold was going to identity crisis. How to identify the right institution.
You didn't want them to interject.
What stops them from closing down Men's Gold? Because already in the first year,
in the case you cited,
in the first
people still lost money. Remember, before they stepped in, people had lost money, just like in Men's Gold. They stepped in, but it's too late. Same in that case.
Exactly. But I mean, you close down God is Love. DKM was going through another crisis, heading towards Ponzi scheme. You walked in, you closed it down. God is Love was there, you closed it down. At that time, Men's Gold was also operating. What stops you from closing it down?
Well, they did eventually.
No, because at that time, it wasn't fully grown like this.
The point he's making is very good.
Business grew fully in 5 years. By which time people will gain trust and confidence in it.
Because if you identify...
I'm a businessman, and within 5 years, if a business should survive within 5 years, then the business is at the stage of growth. You get me?
So,
first, second, third year.
My final question to you before I come to Amanda.
You should have collapsed.
My final question, fundamentally, you're afraid that you've lost money. I don't want to say you've lost yet. You're afraid you've lost money. What are you going to do now?
Should be fine.
With all the actions we've been taking, etc. Because 400,000 is locked in.
You see, this fight we fight is not just for me, it's for the next generation ahead. Because our leaders have failed us. Leaders are sleeping on their jobs. That's what we are fighting.
Okay.
The anger we are having is not because we are losing just our monies today.
Does the action taken tonight,
but our leaders are failing.
Does the action taken tonight alleviate a bit of your concern?
We only hope it will continue, and that will be an example and something that will take early actions. Okay. Tomorrow, there will be early actions.
I think you said earlier.
Otherwise, the banking sector, the bigger picture we are seeing in the banking sector, the youth will rise up tomorrow. A lot of people have lost their monies there.
So Isaac, so fundamentally, I want to
leadership.
I want to break down what you want in a simple sense. Tell me if you agree. So fundamentally, one, arrest him. If he can sell his assets, look into his account, find money, pay me back my principal. That's the best case scenario for you, right?
Yeah.
If you can't do that, give me whatever you can from what you get from selling assets.
Sure.
Second case scenario. Third, if you can't do any of that, just jail him for me.
Jail him.
Okay.
And then leaders, some leaders who have failed on their jobs should resign.
Okay.
We should be looking forward to DOG. Some leaders will be resigning.
Yeah.
Ghana.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who sat down, and all these institutions are still the people doing the cleaning up. The attitudes are still there in the system. We should have them clean.
So you want people resigning? Let's come to
the point. And the youth need to rise up on this. We need to work on the streets. People who have lost their job through this financial crisis should walk on the streets, calling for resignation of BOG bosses. I mean, big boss resignation. We can't sit in the country like this.
Fundamentally, your clans,
we know,
I think they also want the same three things.
We need to start from somewhere.
The same three things I mentioned to him. But you've been doing a lot of work, and you find that they're freezing his accounts, but there possibly might not be anything in there.
It's not that there's not anything, but it's not enough to cover these
1.8 million people.
The assets won't even attract the market
and
price
apart from
because
that,
they are being forced to the market.
We're also talking about what I mentioned in my petition
for those assets.
to the president, which is about what I mentioned to my petition to the president and the Attorney General, and
to which the SEC replied, right?
To which the SEC replied, is essentially, my fear that there was a very sophisticated money laundering operation underway.
Which now the CID is confirming.
Confirmed, because we had reports from our insiders that they were asking traders within Ghana that they would buy their goods abroad and basically pick up the money in Accra. So they'll pick up the cash in Accra and then pay for it through an international account, and different things like actual real gold being shipped out and different things like that. But these are like standard money laundering techniques. It's not rocket science again, and it's fairly easy to trace to a certain level once you start getting Interpol notifications out, which is why I went to the Interpol director very early on and said, how come this hasn't been done? And he said, well, there's a chain of command before it gets to me to do this. And this is really important because money moves through accounts, it moves through individuals, it moves through close associates, family, friends, and the like. So it's not something that is that sophisticated that it's beyond us to put this together. And we should have asked for international help far earlier, because it would have made our job far easier.
We just run out of time. Now it's happened.
Now it's happened.
Give me your best case scenario and your worst case scenario.
The best case,
now that we know what is happening.
The best case scenario is that there's probably a couple of houses in South Africa that's been bought from this, and there's probably different assets that were offshore that can be traced, and as much can be liquidated, because we can't forget Bernie Murdoch's Ponzi scheme in America, which created the dreams for all these young men rising up and saying that they wanted to create a Ponzi scheme in their nation. So we can't forget that a virus went through our systems because it affected every level of society. It was a virus because people committed suicide.
And the best case scenario, and the worst case scenario.
And the worst case scenario is that we won't have enough assets to actually share amongst everyone. But we hope the
Which has
justice.
always
This,
been like
this
that.
arrest shouldn't be
But-
limited to only the number one and the director.
Which has
Yeah.
always
Most
been
of the
like
top
that.
managers are benefited.
From this as
They,
well.
and this,
And liquidate
this should be
their cars.
extended to
Okay.
Yeah.
the
There
top
must be a total sweep.
sweep of all
You
of these
sound very
guys.
skeptical that even if you want to offload these properties, you might not get good value for it.
I'll tell you, because these are things that the market might not necessarily need
Take
them.
it. Because
And most
if-
of those things are more or less lease assets,
Yeah, anyway.
for which
I am grateful,
we might not
gentlemen. I
necessarily get
really
them.
wish you all the best in this. We might wake up tomorrow and he may be on a plane to Ghana in chains, or he may turn himself in, or they might just afford to. I guess, we all wait to see how this
Lady.
pans out.
Gentlemen, you said gentlemen, but you didn't say
Oh,
anything.
gentleman and lady.
Thank you.
Amanda, thank you for joining us. Doc, I'm grateful that you joined us as well. Isaac, I wish you all the best. And Amanda as well in your pursuit of justice for your clients. This has been PM Express. My name is Evan Spencer. Tomorrow morning we'll wake up and maybe we'll hear something about this manhunt that is on in 194 countries across the globe. Sleep well.